Well, good morning. Welcome back here to the shop. Before we get started on some of the projects that I have on the bench and in the paint booth, I wanted to take a minute and show you what I found for the shop. Now, I was looking around Facebook Marketplace over the weekend that I normally do from time to time, and I came across the tool that I've desperately needed here at the shop and have wanted for a number of years now, and I finally found it. So I'm pretty excited to show it to you. It's in the back of the truck. My brother and I jumped in the truck yesterday, and we drove to just outside of Washington, D.C., and then loaded it up and brought it back. Let me pull the truck around, and I'll show you what I found. So, like I said, my brother and I drove 5 hours yesterday to just outside, it was Annapolis, Maryland, outside of Washington, D.C., and found this. So, this is what we got for the shop now. Yes, it's a 10-inch joiner, and I am so excited to have this. Now, my old 6-inch joiner has really treated me well over the years, but it was time to really retire it. I don't know how I did a lot of what I did on it, but I'll tell you, it was a heck of a tool, and I'm going to hang on to it. I'm not going to sell it or get rid of it, but it's time to kind of retire it and put it aside, and we'll get this 10-inch pulled out and get it put together, and I'll go over it with you, and man, what a heck of a find. Now, as you can see, this is Grizzly's model. This is a combination joiner planer model. This is the GO675. I believe it's been discontinued. And the reason I'm excited about this, I didn't need a joiner with a long bed. I was looking for something for a short bed because really this joiner has one job, and that is not only to just plane some of the material or join some of the edges of the work that I'm working on, but also the main reason is when I build these horses and when I build these animals, once I attach the legs, that's the part that I struggle with. I have to always do that by hand because, well, I have a 6-inch joiner. Now with this 10-inch joiner, I can take that body, when I attach the legs, flip it upside down, run a couple of passes over it, and it's going to make my life so much simpler. It's just going to join that material so that I can get that bottom body block prepped and put our middle body block and glue that down. So boy, I'll tell you, this is going to take about an hour, maybe an hour's worth of time off of building these horses. So what a time saver this is going to be. Now again, with this unit, it is a 10-inch and it is a combination. I'm not real concerned about using the planer part of it, although it will be nice to have an extra planer in here, but I'm really not concerned about that. I really want the joiner. That's what I'm after. So again, I'm really excited to have it and just can't wait to get it set up and start using it. So I pulled the joiner planer to the end of the tailgate here so I could work on it a little bit. As you can see, it does need a little bit of work. So I didn't buy this thing plug and play ready to go, but we're real close. Now, the gentleman I bought it off of just so happened to be a machinist, or he was a young guy and a pretty accomplished machinist. When he bought this machine, the one drive gear down here, the one cog, had a tooth that was chipped or missing in it, and this is a double gear, and this is cast aluminum here, and they said you can't fix that. And of course this machine is now discontinued, so finding parts for it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. But being a machinist, he figured he could remachine and make this gear. And he checked with a couple of people and they said it can't be done. So he took it on as a bit of a challenge. Kind of sounds like me. And took some aluminum. I forget what gauge he told me, but I can't for the life of me remember. But it started out as this, and he ended up making this. And it is a perfect match. So all we need to do is put all this together. Unfortunately, when he sold it, he didn't get a chance to put it all together before he moved down to Maryland. He came in from Wisconsin, so I said that's not going to be a problem at all. Everything else seems to be good. We've got all of the parts here. I have all the drive belts, and I even have the manual here. So, you know, I've got everything we need. Let's just go ahead and we'll get this set up, and let's put this machine together. So I'll bring you in here so that you can see what he did. He says he spent quite a few hours milling this and getting it right. He used a CNC machine to get this right. But here's the original, and as you can see, the tooth is missing. And some of the gears here, a couple of the teeth on the gear, the sprocket, are worn down. But yeah, so that's what he did. And he started with this, and he finished with this. He did a beautiful job. And he said the aluminum that he milled this out of, he said this is going to outlast the machine itself. So this is way better than, you know, the part that it came with. So fantastic. So I already kind of went through and did like a little bit of a dry run so that I could see, make sure I know what you know, how everything goes back together. But having this manual really helped. So it gives me the layout here of, you know, the way the belts and the chain is supposed to go. So we've got a picture. That's all I need. I've gone ahead, this is a chain tensioner here, so I've gone ahead and I've taken a bungee cord and just kind of put that out of the way, or got that out of our way for now. And one thing that I noticed when I was just kind of giving it a bit of a dry run is I needed another spacer, so I ran into Home Depot and picked up a spacer. It just seemed like this just had a little bit too much slop, so once we put the snap ring on here, there's that one. And there's number two. Put these out of the way. Let's go ahead and run our chain. Well, so far that looks right. And then I believe this blue belt goes up here to the this shaft right here runs the planer, the joiner knives. And then this little belt runs the infeed and outfeed rollers. And we just tighten that up. And it appears that that's all we need to do. This gear that he milled is perfect. I think, looking at it, I put 2 spacers here on the front. I think it needs a spacer in the back and one in the front because that chain looks like it might just be off just a little bit. So let's take the snap ring back out. I gotta find my link on the chain. There it is. Snap ring pliers would probably make this go a lot quicker, but I don't have any down here. And I just don't feel like walking up to my brother's a couple of doors up to go get a pair. All right, so a slight modification. So what I ended up doing, the needle bearings in here, I believe needed set so that they're flush to the back side. So they weren't quite set all the way in. So what was happening is when I put this gear on, it was sliding back just enough that it looks like the chain was just about to hit the main gear here. Now, instead of putting 2 spacers on, when I put this spacer on, it looks like that's all I need and the snap ring. And I think then, I believe we're going to be good to go. You know, I wasn't sure if this spacer was going to go on the front here or how, but on the old gear, looking at the old gear, I can see some wear mark where this spacer rode. So that tells me that there should be a spacer on the front side. So I believe that these needle bearings should be set so that they're nice and flush on the back side here. I could probably give that just a little bit more of a tap. And that should do it. There we go. Well, that really didn't take too long to get this all reassembled. The only thing left to do is to put the keeper back on the chain link there so it doesn't come off. You know, I was questioning on the new gear, it's got a little bit of slop there, and maybe if I could put, it almost feels like it needs just a couple thousandths, like some sort of just a little bit of a shim in there just to keep it a little bit more secure. But then again, I really don't need this unit for the planer. I just need it for the joiner. So this thing is not going to spin very fast and you know, move those, because this is running the in-feed and out-feed tables. So really, I think it's okay. I'm going to run it the way it is now with the cover off, and I'm going to check it and keep an eye on it. But it definitely, knocking that set of needle bearings back into the gear a little bit, definitely brought this forward enough that the gear looks, or the chain looks completely in line now, and it's not traveling off. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, run it, and let's see what it looks like and how it moves and reacts. And you know, if I think that I need to do something, it won't be that hard to just take this cover off and get in there and pull these you know, belts in that chain. So I think that's going to be the game plan for now. So let me get this buttoned up and let's run some wire and let's try this unit out. Now that I have the machine back together and it looks like it's going to work, I'm going to go ahead and focus on running a wire. This is a 220 machine, so I need to run a 220 line. And what I was thinking is my service panel, I have my service panel right there, but I also, before I put the addition on here and enclose my shop used to go back another 20 feet or so, maybe 15 feet, and then I put on a room here. So my table saw used to sit further over to the right here of the room. I have a 220 line right here, so I'm just thinking about plugging in to the outlet right there and just run it, you know, right up along here, you know, and tack it over, come down behind this cabinet, and maybe just come right on top of the block right here and put a steel box like right in here somewhere that I can just plug in. That'd be quick and easy, and if I ever have to move it, all I have to do is just unplug it. So that's the plan right now. So let's go ahead and let's run this wire and get it all plugged in and get the machine set up. Well, I have the joiner all set up and the wiring's all done. It's all ready to go. Let me show it to you. So here it is. I have the fence off of it because I just finished cleaning the top of the bed here. It had a little bit of rust, surface rust on it from being in storage, but it cleaned up really nice. So all I have to do is put the fence on it. It just kind of slides on. But the wiring's done, it comes on. Sounds great. The gear works perfect. Now my wiring isn't, you know, the greatest. It's temporary again, so keep that in mind, but I'll show you what I did. So again, I had this outlet here where the table saw used to sit, so it's just a 220 line that wasn't being used. So I picked up 25 feet of 12.3, and again, this is only pulling 9.9 amps. So I just kind of, you know, ran it up and over the door, over my cabinet and down, and just kind of, I've got a cover there. I still have to put the cover on it, but I just wanted to, you know, tie it in and see how it worked. I even have the dust collection all hooked back up. So it's all done and it works, and I am just really thrilled. I can't wait to use it. Now, 25 feet of 12.2 or 12.3 wire, I didn't expect the price of it, that was 25 feet, and that was $70 for 25 feet of that. That's just, you know, ouch, crazy. So I spent another $100, but all in all, I spent about $150 in fuel to go down there and back down to Annapolis, Maryland, and back here. So it was about $150. And believe it or not, I bought this planer joiner combo for $600. So I've got, you know, $750 in it, you know, of course, plus the wiring, but just really $750 in a 10-inch joiner. I'm just thrilled to death. And like I said, I've been looking for a short bed joiner for years, and I finally found one, and now I've got it all hooked up and can't wait to use it. I just put the fence on it, and it just slides on this rail, so it's real super simple to set, and you know, my angles again, real easy to do. And the first thing I did is I threw my little square up on it, and it is absolutely perfect, dead on, you know, right out of the gate. And there it is, all put together with the cover back on it, the fence on it. This thing is ready to rock and roll. And the nice thing is, this doesn't take up any more room than my old one, my little 6-inch. It's actually sitting on the same base. I just lifted, you saw, I lifted it right out of my old roller stand and set this right in, and it fit perfect. So it doesn't take up any more room than my old one. It's just perfect. Well, it's the next day here at the shop, and I went ahead and I put in a brand new set of blades. That was the other little perk to buying this machine that I was unaware of. Before we left, the gentleman down in Annapolis handed me this box, and in it I've got a couple of nice Shop Fox push pads, of course my manual, but then he also, there's 2 brand new sets of blades in here, so I actually have 3 sets of blades for this machine. So I went ahead and changed out the other blades because they need sharpened, put in a fresh set of blades, and let's go ahead. Let's plane a piece of cherry and put it across this machine and see what kind of edge we get. We'll see how it did. I'll tell you, the edge is just perfect. What a nice smooth edge. And yeah, it's dead on. You couldn't ask for anything better than that. Boy, I'll tell you, there's nothing more exciting than getting a new tool set up here in the shop, and this one especially, this is going to get a lot of use over the next couple of years. Well, what do you think? Comment down below on how I did. I paid $600 for this machine. I've got, about $150 in fuel to run down and get it. I got a couple of extra sets of blades, so I think I did okay. I guess time will tell the more I get to use it over the years, and we'll see how it does. But I, again, real excited to have it here in the shop. Well, hey, thanks a lot for watching, and I've got a lot more work to do, so we'll see you here in the shop next time.